Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Toy Story 2. This is obviously the sequel to Toy Story from 1995. This is from 1999. It's an hour and 32 minutes long, and yeah, this is it showed even more so that even when it comes to sequels, where very often the sequels to any other movie are rarely ever good. It shows that Pixar can do sequels right. People may think they have dropped the ball a little bit on Cars 2, but as I reviewed in a previous episode, I was wrong, and Cars 2 is actually better than I thought it was, despite the overabundance of Mater. Now, Toy Story 2 is very much the Empire Strikes Back of Toy Story for many reasons. And it's mainly because, yes, there's throwaway story elements, just little comedy bits, but there's so many Easter eggs. I mean, we know the Pixar, especially the Toy Story movies, are chock full of Easter eggs throughout. It's it's not a mistake. The A113, the Pixar ball, the lamp, all these things are elements that you find in just about every Pixar film. Now, this one seems to be competing to see if we can find more Star Wars versus Star Trek references throughout, and there are so many. A lot of them early on are audio cues like Darth Vader's breathing, uh, blaster fire, lightsaber sounds, just little things like that, which are instantly recognizable by fans. There's a point where Buzz Lightyear holds up his hands like that. There's even, I think, an audio cue for the Star Trek theme, the original from the original series. So yeah, there's a ton of little things, and now the reason why I think there's a lot of Star Wars stuff in here is that this is 1999, so we're building up. They're making this movie throughout the late 90s, and this is they're building up. Not they, but Lucasfilm, not far away, is building up the release of a brand new Star Wars film, Episode One, which is going to be huge, and that's all anybody can think about in geekdom and also in filmmaking. George Lucas is coming pretty much out of retirement to make new Star Wars films. So these people obviously are Star Wars nerds, and there's just tons and tons of tributes to Star Wars throughout this. So it's kind of funny that it's like that. But enough about Star Wars and everything else. But you can't miss all those references. You can almost not even keep track of how many there are. This movie brings back all of the original cast, including the late Jim Varney and Don Rickles, and yeah, it's I mean, this is some of their, I think, their last performances on this film, especially for Jim Varney. I'm not sure if Don Rickles made it into the third one or not. I can't remember. We have done reviews, discussions about. I hate calling these reviews, but yeah. We've seen Toy Story and Toy Story 3, now Toy Story 2. We just had Toy Story 4, the most controversial one, let's just say. But honestly, when you look at this film, this actually sets the stage for the decisions a character would make in Toy Story 4. Okay, it's Woody, but still the idea is that there's decisions that Woody makes here that set a precedence for what he does in Toy Story 4. It's not just out of the blue, and it's one of the things that it's the main thing, the only thing really that upset people about Toy Story 4. In this case, he's doing it for people to help save their lives. He's doing it selflessly. He's not thinking of himself. He's doing it to help others. Yes, he does get the idea that he's going to be adored from a distance by thousands of people for eternity, but It's more to keep his new friends from going insane in storage. So, yes, his new friends. Speaking of which, portrayed by Joan Cusack as Jessie, I forgot just how energetic she is. She is just a bundle of lightning, just bouncing off the walls in this movie, and she's amazing. She's awesome. And of course, there's the adorable Bullseye along with her, and the Prospector, played by Kelsey Grammer. So those three are part of a big collection down at Big Al's Toy Barn, and or is it just Al's Toy Barn? I forget. It's just Al's Toy Barn. We'll just say that. I just want to say big in front of it because he's a big guy. Played by Wayne Knight. Wayne Knight, you know from Jurassic Park, and you know him from Seinfeld. Newman. Speaking of which, there's not just Easter eggs for Star Wars and Star Trek. There's so many other movies, and one of which is a very cool sequence with Rex chasing after a small toy car with a rearview mirror, which is a play on the scene from Jurassic Park with the T-Rex bearing down on the Jeep. So yeah, there's so many little things. Oh, also, this is the last appearance of Bo Peep for a movie. We wonder where she got to. Where's that romance we were kind of promised that was bubbling up here in Toy Story 2 between her and Woody? She just disappeared for episode 3, Toy Story 3. And we find out where she went to in Toy Story 4. So, yeah, this is a really important movie on a number of different levels. We get to see just how rare and valuable Woody is, how classic of a toy he is, what he was based on, and well, that's just it sets the stage for saying, what is a toy's true value, true worth? Is it what it would go for on eBay, which was still very new at that point, and this guy wasn't selling them through eBay, which I almost thought, for some reason in my mind, I was thinking he sold them on eBay. I don't know why. Maybe that's in a different film. But yeah, is it the worth of what a collector would pay for, or is it worth more in the hands of a child? And in this case, the toys get to decide for themselves where their worth actually lies. I feel guilty when I look at all the toys I have. I have vintage Star Wars action figures, all placed neatly in boxes in their own little sections, and they're all perfectly preserved. And then there's another box of more recent Star Wars action figures that are just in a giant tub, just piled onto each other. They're probably melting together at this point. It's not that it's hot in here, it's just that they're probably just forming into a giant mass. They've been sitting there, some of them, for 25 years. So, I don't know. But I feel, sometimes I'm like, oh no, those poor toys. They've just been laying in a bin for 25 years. It's so sad. I mean, how many Padme action figures can just be stacked on top of each other? All those Obi-Wans. But how many freaking Darth Vaders do I have? Anyway, it makes you wonder, because yeah, I mean, my old toys mean the world to me, and they're also, yes, very valuable, but I'm not going to get rid of them. And they mean a lot to me. So that's where this movie connects with a lot of people who grew up with that very special toy or toys, and that's the magic of Toy Story. It's I don't need to tell you that for any of you who've seen these films. If for some reason you've somehow decided, this is not for me, this is just goofy, this animation crap is just awful, I feel sorry for you, I guess. It's just, maybe it's not for everybody, but I can't see how it couldn't be. It is a thing of joy, a thing of beauty, just to experience these characters every single time. These are imminently rewatchable every single time. There's not a point where you're just like, okay, whatever, I'll just watch something else now. You're drawn in, and you eat it up. Yeah, oh, they make you a little misty eyed sometimes, that kind of thing. If you don't want to feel that way, then don't be afraid of your emotions. Come on, it's all good fun, and there's big laughs to be had throughout this thing too. Obviously, we get to see Buzz Lightyear face his existence, face knowing he's a toy, suddenly come face to face with just how insignificant he is in the face of thousands of toys just like him who aren't as aware as he is. There is I'll just go to the main plot that gets us here. Woody gets damaged through playing with Andy a little bit, and he was going to go to cowboy camp, but he decides when he tears his arm a little bit, Andy decides to leave him at home because it's fearful that he would break him some more, tear it some more. So that leaves Woody really, really despondent, but whatever. He also feels like oh my gosh, he got put on the shelf, the high shelf, which is covered in dust, and he finds another toy up there that everybody kind of forgot about because they thought that, well, he went to get fixed, and, well, they never got fixed. So he's kind of a little neurotic about that. So he gets a little bit of a hero complex when suddenly that toy accidentally gets sent off to the yard sale while Andy's away. And Woody goes on a rescue mission only to get picked up himself by Al, the collector. And Al, when Mom sees that Woody's not supposed to be out here, that's very precious, Al distracts her and decides to steal Woody. And that leads to a whole mess of trouble and a rescue mission led by Buzz and some of the other toys as they make their way to Al's toy barn. So it's there's a number of just funny little things. Rex is really into the Buzz Lightyear video game, and that actually plays into the plot. It's not just a little thing that we see at the very beginning of the film. There is the sequence. One of my favorite sequences is the toys trying to cross the street while disguised as orange cones, well, underneath orange cones, and the chaos that they wreak as they make their way across is just fantastic. So if you watch it just for that scene, it's hilarious. It's not very long, but it's so well done. It's hilarious. It's a comedy of errors. So yeah, I can't really. There's no reason for anybody to have to sell anybody on watching the Toy Story movies. But if you somehow need somebody to tell you, look, it's time for you to watch the Toy Story movies, including Toy Story 2, the one I just watched. It's time. Okay? It's if you need a prescription, I'll write something up for you, and that's what we'll take it from there, okay? I'm not a doctor. In fact, I'm kind of sick right now. I could use a doctor. Anyway, Toy Story 2. When it comes to animation, yeah, it hasn't aged as well as it could have. It's still a little touchy on the lighting and things like that. It still hasn't aged real well. But again, this is only 4 years after the original Toy Story. It has improved, but when you look at this compared to Toy Story 3 and especially Toy Story 4, it looks absolutely ancient. But that's what the technology was capable of at the time, and it was top of the line compared to anything else you were seeing in 1999, even Star Wars Episode 1. Yeah. Well, no, I can't say that because Star Wars Episode 1. I'm not going to talk about Star Wars anymore. Sorry. It's just who I am. All right. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. I drug this out far enough.
230.
230. do we got? Ah! Oh, wow! Okay. This is another movie. We've had a long string of movies. This is like our fifth or sixth movie in a row. We've not had anything else. I remember when we had just before this, we had a bunch of documentaries and unscripted stuff back to back to back to back, like four of them. This must be like our fifth or sixth movie now. This is a very. I realize this is is Disney, but this is like an underground kind of classic. Like it's a cult classic. I don't know if it ever really. It's not treated in the way that we love Goonies or Sandlot or things like that. Things that star children or teenagers and are comedies that kids and adults can enjoy together. This one's a little bit touchier due to the subject matter, but this is still a little bit of a cult classic. I think I'm eager to watch this again. It's been a few years since I watched it, so let's take another look at Heavyweights. There we go. I think that's Ben Stiller in that and a bunch of other people early in their careers. Heavyweights. That's what we're going to watch. Heavyweights on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow.